Hey everyone, this is Disc Junkie, and today I thought I would bring you back to do a video that I've been planning to do for quite a while, but it seems that I just keep buying more and more copies of this particular film, so that, you know, my little DVD section for this movie just never gets complete, and since I've been sort of holding off in making the vid because I always have another edition coming in. But I figured, you know, that's never really gonna end, so without further ado, trying to speed things up. Here is the overview video for my Texas Chainsaw Massacre collection. Now, as you can tell, I got roughly 4 shelves. I got one here, then we got another, and another up there, and one there. Now, I'll start with this one over here, because this is actually a shelf for the remake, which is Texas Chainsaw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. I got a couple of Brazilian editions, which I got as a gift. Then we get the US digipack version. There is a promotional evidence bag in the background there, which I've also done a detailed review on. We have a Swedish special edition of the remake. Comes with a digipack and a slipcase. The Epsom salt can is also from the evidence bag, by the way. But now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna focus on the original film, and you know, that's basically the only movie that I think is the good one. You know, part 2, 3, and whatnot are just, you know, I haven't even watched all of them. You know, they were so bad, so I just stopped, and you know, I'm just extremely fascinated with the original one, so I started collecting it. I'm just gonna begin by walking you through this. So first up here we have the UK 3-disc Steelbook version. Then we have the American Steelbook in the back here. Swedish Steelbook, I think it's actually Scandinavian. I think we got it in Norway, Denmark, Finland and Sweden. We have a small screen grabs diorama, which is actually a very cool little decorative thing there. Then we got a small deck of cards. This was actually a bonus item which was included on certain copies of this version, but you can buy this separately. It's not hard to come by, so not very exclusive. Then we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre audio dub, released on cassette by the Dutch Oven. And you know, it's just a straight audio dub of the entire movie on a blank cassette, so you can play it in your Walkman. The film doesn't have a soundtrack released, and so that's basically the only way you can hear the movie, so to speak. Here we have a Betamax edition. It's an American from Media Blasters. It's quite worn, and I think it has writing on the tape even, you know, it was pretty cheap. So moving right along, here we have the DVD versions that I got, and first up is the Studio S and the Video Violence, which is actually a collection of basically banned movies that were banned in Sweden during the 80s due to the sort of video violence, moral panic outcry. And this also features the debate program, which sort of started the whole circus, but that's not what this video is about, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre is sort of part of that collection, and was very much a part of what happened back in those days. Here we got the Japanese 5-disc box set, which is definitely the most incredible and well-built DVD box set for this movie. Very expensive, and you know, I don't know what to say. It's just amazing build quality, and you can't really go any better. Then we got a very recent pickup from Italy. This is a keep case and a slip case. Quite cheap looking, didn't cost me very much. Out of print, but very fun to have, you know, being as I like my variations. Here we have the American Pioneer Special Edition Meat Pack version, which is really, really cool. Then we got the obnoxiously ugly French Collector's Edition Digipack. It's got a totally transparent plastic slipcase with no artwork on it, which is, you know, practical, but you know, the interior of this one is just so ugly and misprinted and weird. Here we got the first Swedish DVD version, Collector's Edition. Then we got a UK version, which looks very similar. And then we got another UK version, which has a really nice cover. Still just a keep case, but you know, I got this as a gift, and you know, I really like collecting the odd keep cases as well. And it seems, you know, I actually got a whole bunch of UK versions now. Here is another UK version, which is the Virgin Store exclusive white variation of the special edition digipack. And the standard one, which is the black version, is right here. So that's what that looks like. Got a very nice sort of red metallic looking writing on it. And then we got a old Swedish special edition. This is a 2-disc digipack. Comes in a glossy printed cover. And then we got the special edition Blu-ray DVD combo from Turbine. This is an Austrian. Then we got a Thailand release, very simple, keep case and a slipcase, but just some of the weirdest artwork ever for this movie, and I just bought it for the odd cover. Here is the Austrian collector's edition hardbox. It's a small hardbox, which is the first hardbox variation that came out, also labeled as the skin box edition, which is quite misleading, but it's a very cool set. It wasn't limited, but it's just very out of print and hard to find. Then we get to the 3 XT Video large hard boxes, which are limited. Here is actually the second cover variation, cover B, and it's limited to 666 copies. And basically all 3 versions have a very similar back cover, some different colors and stuff, but still sort of very similar. And this is the cover A version. And lastly, cover C, which is my favorite, classic theatrical poster artwork, limited to 666. So yeah, very cool. Some of my favorite editions right there. Moving right along, we get to a UK Preset VHS tape, and well, it's just an old Preset VHS from the UK, but very cool. Right behind it is a very similar style one, which is also from the UK, and this is the very same version, but it is the Betamax version, and this is the VHS version. And then we move up to the next shelf here, which is sort of a VHS/Betamax shelf, and well, first up we got a Swedish version, which is one of my favorite covers because it has this tagline that's actually printed, and this translates as the most hated movie in Swedish history, which is quite true, because in the 80s this was banned, and it was sort of the icon for video violence and the whole sort of moral outcry of parents everywhere in Sweden. So it's part of the Swedish legacy on this movie. Then we got a smaller VHS version from Sweden, which was released by a company called Network. And then we got the first ever Swedish release of the movie, which was a VHS rental by a company called Untitled Productions. And this was quickly taken off the rental shelves, basically because the movie was banned when this particular version came out. So as you might imagine, this is not very easy to come by today, and not so many copies left in existence. Then we get to a Japanese one, which is actually a Japanese Betamax version, which I was really happy to get, and I haven't really seen it for sale a second time. I got it on eBay, so yeah, very happy about that. And then we get to another UK Preset, which has this awesome cover. This is basically an old rental variation, also from Ivor Film Services, who made the red and white cover there. And then at the end of the line here we got another Swedish version, which is also by Atlantic Film, and I think this was the first ever uncut Swedish VHS. The Network one and the first Atlantic Film one, I believe, are cut, but this was actually uncut. And then here at the sort of corner we have one of my most prized editions of this movie. This was the first ever VHS version in the UK. It is a VHS tape inside a case, which works for it works for Super 8 reels and for VHS. It has a compartment that can hold both, and as you can tell, it is basically a Super 8 cover. It actually says IFS Super 8, but then it has a sticker which labels it as a VHS version. So this is just, it's so expensive and so hard to come by. I got it from a Swedish collector, and the reason why this is sort of even available in Sweden on the second-hand market is because back in the 80s this version was actually imported by Swedish rental stores and actually put on shelves for rental. So a lot of people think this is a Swedish release, but it's not. It's actually a UK Preset version from Ivor Film Services, who also put out this one and the Betamax behind it, and of course this variation as well. So yeah, that is definitely the most unusual and hard to come by version of the movie that I have so far. Next up on the end here we have a Australian VHS version. I just got it because it's a very, very odd cover which I haven't seen anywhere else, and yeah, I just found it so weird that I had to have it. And then we have an Italian VHS which comes in a rather large VHS box. And oddly enough, this actually has a picture from the second film among these sort of, you know, screenshots from the movie, which, I don't know, it's just weird. And then lastly, here we have a Dutch VHS. It's also like a Preset tape because it was uncut, from a company called Converge Video. I also picked this up from another Swedish collector. It was actually the same guy who sold me the Untitled Productions tape there. Oh yeah, lastly, in the back here we have the Austrian / uncut German version of the sort of chainsaw edition. But yeah, that is basically it. And now my neck is fucking killing me. My arms are bleeding, and yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna keep making reviews of my Texas Chainsaw Massacre pickups. I know a lot of you might not care about these old VHS versions, but as you know, I have a website where I put up all my videos are sort of incorporated and embedded into that website, so I'm trying to keep making reviews for every single thing I buy. Well, that's it. Really hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you all next time.